There is indeed a current trend towards religion without God, where churches and communities are being built without God as the central focus. This trend is not entirely new, as there have been movements like Ernest Holmes' Science of Mind and Scientology that have explored similar ideas. However, with the growth of technology, atheism has also become more active and vocal. Prominent atheists like Bill Maher, Richard Dawkins, and Stephen Hawking often ridicule literal interpretations of scripture and denial of evolution. While this critique is valid, it only scratches the surface. Sam Harris, a proponent of spirituality without religion, eloquently delves deeper into the nature of thought and consciousness. He argues that if we are thinking without being aware that we are thinking, we are confused about our true nature. I wholeheartedly agree with this perspective. Having personally experienced this state of awareness and written about it, I have come to realize that there is a higher intelligence at play, which can be considered sacred for lack of a better term. However, Harris and his peers seem to suggest that the only conclusion from noticing our thoughts is a secular deconstruction that leads to an Eastern emptiness. One of Harris's thought-provoking ideas, influenced by modern neuroscience, is that there is no self and no free will. But does this mean that there is no meaning possible without or beyond thought? Is all meaning purely conceptual? Does Harris's revision of religion, without an angry anthropomorphic personal God, also imply the end of the sacred? Is the sacred merely a concept, or is it an intrinsic and ineffable component of awareness and being? These are profound questions that require deep exploration. While Harris's perspective offers valuable insights, it is important to consider that meaning and the sacred may transcend the limitations of thought and conceptual understanding. The sacred may be an inherent aspect of our being, beyond the realm of intellectual comprehension. In this exploration, we may discover that the sacred is not solely dependent on religious dogma or a belief in a personal God. It can emerge from a deep connection with the mysteries of existence, the awe-inspiring wonders of the universe, and the profound interconnectedness of all things. It can be found in the beauty of nature, the depths of human experience, and the pursuit of truth and wisdom. Ultimately, the search for meaning and the sacred is a deeply personal and subjective journey. It is up to each individual to explore and discover their own understanding of the sacred, whether it aligns with traditional religious beliefs or takes a more secular and philosophical approach. As we continue to evolve and expand our understanding of the world, it is important to remain open-minded and receptive to the diverse ways in which the sacred can be experienced and expressed. Is sacredness relative to our level of being? Is sacredness relative to our level of being? This is a profound question that has been pondered by philosophers, theologians, and thinkers throughout history. It touches on the nature of existence, the concept of God, and the limits of human understanding. Eckhart Tolle, a spiritual teacher and author, suggests that sacredness is indeed relative to our level of being. He argues that the intelligence that governs our bodies and the natural world is beyond human comprehension and is therefore sacred. Tolle equates this sacredness with God, using a term that is familiar to many people. However, he acknowledges that this sacredness is beyond what we can fully grasp or conceptualize. It is worth considering whether this sense of the sacred is simply a product of our conditioning, or if it is rooted in something deeper. Is it possible that the force behind organic life is inherently intelligent and sacred? Or could artificial intelligence, created through technology, ever possess true consciousness and eliminate the need for something more? Many people, including myself, believe that the sacredness of life and existence goes beyond what can be replicated or understood by artificial intelligence. While technology continues to advance and our understanding of the universe expands, there is a fundamental difference between the intelligence of a machine and the consciousness of a living being. The sacredness of life is intricately connected to our experience of being human. It encompasses our emotions, relationships, and the awe-inspiring beauty of the natural world. It is not just about intelligence or functionality, but about the depth and richness of our existence. Artificial intelligence may be able to mimic certain aspects of human intelligence, but it lacks the essence of consciousness and the ability to truly experience the sacredness of life. It is limited by its programming and lacks the capacity for subjective experience. While some may argue that advancements in technology could eventually lead to the creation of a conscious artificial intelligence, I believe that there will always be a distinction between the sacredness of organic life and the capabilities of machines. The sacredness of life is not something that can be replicated or manufactured. It is a fundamental aspect of our existence that transcends our understanding. In conclusion, the question of whether sacredness is relative to our level of being is a complex and deeply philosophical one. While different perspectives exist, I believe that the sacredness of life and existence is not something that can be fully grasped or replicated by artificial intelligence. It is a profound and ineffable aspect of our humanity that goes beyond our comprehension and is inherently sacred. What exactly is consciousness? First, let us acknowledge that consciousness is not simply a more complex or calculated form of thought. Our consciousness, which is inherent in organic life, encompasses much more than just our neural function of thinking. As Eckhart Tolle points out, the consciousness that governs our organic system, our circulation, breath, elimination, and so on, is infinitely greater than our thinking mind. When we deeply recognize this, it changes our very being and allows us to start comprehending the true level of scale on which consciousness operates. If we delve into this deeply, we will realize that consciousness, or the non-conceptual reality of infinity, is not equivalent to greater complexity. The concept of infinity is not something that can be understood by the thinking mind as just one more or plus one. Infinity is, by definition, infinite. For instance, supercomputers can continuously calculate and discover larger and larger prime numbers, but no matter how many calculations they make, there will always be just one more. However, none of these prime numbers will ever be infinite. Infinity exists on a scale that is beyond the capabilities of the mind. Understanding this concept of infinity and the true nature of consciousness can have profound implications. It challenges the perspective of artificial intelligence enthusiasts who believe that consciousness can be replicated or surpassed by machines. Consciousness is not merely a product of complexity or calculation. It is a fundamental aspect of organic life that defies the limitations of the thinking mind. By recognizing the vastness and infinite nature of consciousness, we can begin to tap into a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. It opens up the possibility of exploring realms beyond the confines of our thinking mind and delving into the mysteries of existence. It invites us to embrace the profoundness of consciousness and its role in shaping our reality. Rather than seeking to replicate or replace consciousness with artificial intelligence, we can strive to cultivate a deeper connection with our own consciousness and explore its limitless potential. Proof of infinity is right before our eyes. To truly grasp the concept of infinity, one must look up at the night sky on a clear and star-filled night. As you gaze at the vast expanse above, your mind tries to comprehend the infinite nature of the universe. It may tell you that each star, solar system, galaxy, and universe is just the next in a series, but in reality, what you see is infinity itself. It is a sight that your mind struggles to fully grasp, yet it is undeniably there, staring back at you. The sheer scale of something so far beyond our normal comprehension can only be described as sacred. It is a reminder of our insignificance in the grand scheme of things and a humbling experience that evokes a sense of awe and wonder. The question then arises, can the sacred or the infinite be subjected to scientific inquiry? Sam Harris, an eminent scientist and author, offers an interesting perspective on this matter. Despite his denial of the existence of free will, he holds reverence for the ordinary. He advocates for mindfulness and presence, emphasizing the importance of being fully present in the moment and appreciating the beauty of everyday life. In the realm of scientific inquiry, facts are crucial. Science seeks to understand the world through empirical evidence and objective analysis. However, when it comes to the sacred or the infinite, it becomes challenging to fit them into the framework of scientific inquiry. These concepts transcend the boundaries of what can be measured and observed. The sacred and the infinite are deeply personal and subjective experiences. They often involve emotions, spirituality, and a sense of connection to something greater than ourselves. While science can provide explanations and insights into various aspects of our existence, it may not be equipped to fully capture the essence of the sacred or the infinite. Perhaps the sacred and the infinite are best explored through other avenues such as philosophy, religion, or personal introspection. These realms allow for a more holistic exploration of the human experience, encompassing aspects that go beyond the realm of scientific inquiry. In conclusion, the sight of infinity in the night sky is a humbling and awe-inspiring experience that defies our understanding. While science plays a crucial role in understanding the world, the sacred and the infinite may exist outside the scope of scientific inquiry. They are deeply personal and subjective experiences that may be better explored through other avenues. The question of whether the sacred or the infinite can be subjected to scientific inquiry remains open for contemplation and discussion. So how do we scientifically investigate the nature of consciousness and mind? We know we are downstream of causes of which we are not conscious and of which we cannot be conscious, as Sam Harris eloquently puts it. This realization challenges our deeply ingrained belief that we are the sole initiators of our actions. However, as we continue to evolve and delve deeper into our own consciousness, I believe we will uncover layers and frequencies of thought that can serve us better in the future. Eckhart Tolle's concept of the voice in the head, as the source of reactive and conditioned thought, rather than the true self, is a valuable starting point. It helps us recognize that our thoughts are not always under our control, but rather influenced by external factors and past conditioning. Yet, there is still much more to explore and understand. I envision a future where biophysicists and neuroscientists, armed with more advanced instruments, will uncover a more comprehensive understanding of thought. Similar to how the Eskimos have multiple words for different types of snow, we will need a nuanced vocabulary to describe the various dimensions and frequencies of thought. Just as we currently comprehend electromagnetic frequencies, I believe we will come to grasp the diverse spectrums of thought. We will uncover the intricate interplay between conscious and unconscious processes, shedding light on the complex web of influences that shape our thoughts and actions. Furthermore, as we deepen our understanding, we may discover that thought itself can evolve. We might envision a future where communities of thought emerge, where individuals collectively explore and shape their thinking patterns. These evolved communities of thought could serve as catalysts for personal and societal growth, fostering greater self-awareness, empathy, and wisdom. Ultimately, the journey to understand thought is an ongoing process. As our knowledge expands and our instruments become more sophisticated, we will continue to unravel the mysteries of consciousness. And in doing so, we may unlock new possibilities for personal transformation and collective evolution. As Dr. Kumar mentioned, our current understanding of the electromagnetic spectrum is limited to only a small fraction of its frequencies. However, it is possible that there are other sources and frequencies within our thoughts that we have yet to discover. This could lead to a much more complex understanding of the interrelationship between our thoughts and our environment. One field that is currently exploring this concept is epigenetics. Epigenetics investigates how our genes are influenced by our environment and experiences. It suggests that our nature is not solely determined by our genetic makeup, but rather by a larger dynamic in which the individual is a part of a larger community. This idea is similar to how cells form organs, and organs come together to create an organism. In this view, our sense of self is not isolated, but rather interconnected with the world around us. The Internet, often referred to as a planetary nervous system or an awareness system, takes this interconnectedness to the next level. It allows individuals to communicate and share information on a global scale, potentially creating a higher level of consciousness as a global community. This idea suggests that the Internet could be seen as a platform for a new understanding of consciousness, one that combines scientific data with an awareness of our own limitations as human beings. From this perspective, a science of consciousness could emerge that goes beyond traditional scientific methods and incorporates a deeper understanding of our own minds and organic being. It would acknowledge the limitations of science in fully explaining consciousness, and instead seek to integrate scientific knowledge with a more holistic understanding of the human experience. One teacher who anticipated this development was Gurdjieff in the early 20th century. Like Eckhart Tolle, Gurdjieff saw most men and women as asleep, and conditioned by the habitual thoughts that they took themselves to be. He recognized that people were living in a state of unconsciousness, identified with their thoughts and emotions, and disconnected from their true essence. What Gurdjieff also sought to do was to merge the science of the West with the philosophy of the East, and reintroduce a sense of the sacred into modern life. He believed that by combining the knowledge and understanding of both worlds, a deeper understanding of reality and human existence could be achieved. The concept of the sacred, according to Gurdjieff, is the recognition of a dimension of being higher than oneself or what can be conceptually understood. It is a connection to something greater, beyond the limited perception of the individual self. Gurdjieff believed that reconnecting with the sacred was essential for personal growth and awakening. Sam Harris, in his book Waking Up, ridicules some of Gurdjieff's ideas, such as suggesting that the moon is alive. While this may be seen as metaphorical or symbolic, Harris dismisses it as irrational thinking. However, from a pragmatic point of view, it is undeniable that the sun is sacred for organic life on Earth. Without the sun, life as we know it would not exist. The sun provides the energy necessary for plants to grow through photosynthesis, which in turn sustains the entire food chain. It provides warmth, light, and nourishment to all living beings on Earth. The sun is the source of life itself. Recognizing the sacredness of the sun is not about worshipping it as a deity, but rather acknowledging its fundamental role in sustaining life on our planet. It is about appreciating the interconnectedness of all things and understanding our dependence on the natural world. Gurdjieff's teachings remind us to look beyond our limited perspective and consider the bigger picture. By recognizing the sacred, we can cultivate a sense of gratitude, awe, and reverence for the natural world. This can lead to a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the universe. Every scientific system we have underscores the fact that knowledge is essential for our understanding of the universe. As Carl Sagan famously said, "We are the stuff that stars are made of." This statement highlights the interconnectedness between all forms of life in our solar system, which ultimately rely on the existence of the sun as a physical and potentially organic entity. While it may seem like a stretch to call the sun alive in the traditional sense of the word, it is not unreasonable to consider it as such. If proponents of artificial intelligence wish to explore the concept of an information system with nearly infinite complexity and a network of combustible energy, they need not look further than the sun. This thermonuclear reality, which rises and sets every day on the horizon of our planet, possesses qualities that align with our understanding of life. Its immense size and power, as discovered by our scientific endeavors, dwarf any human being or ego to the point of insignificance. In the grand scheme of things, we are mere specks in comparison to the magnitude of the sun. Could it be possible that the sun possesses a consciousness on a scale that we cannot comprehend at this moment in time? It is a thought-provoking question. As our understanding of consciousness and the nature of existence expands, we may come to realize that our current perception of reality is limited. The sun, with its immense power and influence, may hold secrets that we are yet to uncover. In contemplating the consciousness of the sun, we must also consider our own evolving role as a global consciousness. As we become more interconnected and aware of our place in the universe, we may find ourselves reconnected to the sacred. Our understanding of the sun's potential consciousness could serve as a catalyst for a deeper connection to the world around us. It could inspire us to approach life with a greater sense of awe and reverence, recognizing the interconnectedness of all living beings. In conclusion, while it may seem far-fetched to consider the sun as a conscious entity, our scientific discoveries and expanding understanding of consciousness open the door to such possibilities. The sun's immense size and power remind us of our own insignificance in the grand scheme of things. As we continue to explore the mysteries of the universe, we may come to realize that our perception of reality is limited, and that there is much more to discover and understand. The sun's potential consciousness could serve as a reminder of the interconnectedness of all life and inspire us to reconnect with the sacred in our own lives. Three great minds, one ultimate definition. And it takes us back to the work of Sam Harris, and the focus of his inquiry. I was blown away at the conclusion of Sam Harris's bestseller Waking Up. He comes very close to actually defining spirituality along the same lines as Eckhart Tolle and even Gurdjieff. But he never actually defines it, he merely describes it eloquently, and when he says something in you at this moment is pristine, the only difference from Eckhart Tolle is that Eckhart would probably use the term no thing to take it entirely out of the realm of materiality. Here is Harris's conclusion. Spirituality begins with a reverence for the ordinary that can lead us to insights and experiences that are anything but ordinary. And the conventional opposition between humility and hubris has no place here. Yes, the cosmos is vast and appears indifferent to our mortal schemes, but every present moment of consciousness is profound. In subjective terms, each of us is identical to the very principle that brings value to the universe. Experiencing this directly, not merely thinking about it, is the true beginning of spiritual life. This should grant profundity to the humble project of noticing what it is like to hear you in the present. However numerous your faults, something in you at this moment is pristine, and only you can recognize it. Open your eyes and section. What I love about Harris's concept is that the sacred is implied but not bludgeoned into us. The word reverence is sufficient to make us aware of how unlikely it is that we are even here at all right now, that is reverence for the ordinary. Because the biggest miracle of all is that I am writing this right now at all. But Harris nails it with some deft dancing between authoritarian science and fundamental religion. For after all, the terms religion, science, God and even human are purely conceptual and therefore abstractions. But a sincere meaning into the reality that exists as the ordinary must include a study of consciousness itself, and inevitably point to something far higher and more intelligent, and ultimately sacred.